Hello and welcome to MotoGP 19. Now, during my launch day stream, we decided to select a Pro Championship to get me back into the swing of MotoGP games, meaning no rider aids, full tyre wear, manual start management and 90% AI difficulty. I did actually used to be pretty good at MotoGP games, but the last one I played was Valentino Rossi the game, aka MotoGP 16, so it's been a while between drinks. Now, if you watch the stream, you'll know how rusty and all-round terrible I am at the moment, so whilst I do always appreciate you guys, I'm not super thrilled that you selected the Pro difficulty for me. Now, this race is round 3 of the championship from the Circuit of the Americas. If you didn't catch the stream and you'd like to see how the first two absolute fusterclucks went, I will link the stream on screen and pop it down in the description as well. Now, despite struggling for pace the whole way through practice, I managed to put it on pole position, which I immediately wasted by jumping the starter course. Manual start procedure, I just instinctively grabbed the R2 button and that immediately pushes me forward. So it's a jump start, and then when I did get going, get on the clutch, as you can see, I've been completely swamped up, pushed out wide through turn 1, and I also got a 5-second penalty for that jump start. So look, not all is lost in terms of track position. I have managed to very quickly regain 6th and back to 5th within the first few corners. So the main issue for me at this point is the fact that there is that 5-second penalty. I'm going to have to serve. You can't serve that by rolling through the pit lane or anything, which you wouldn't want to anyway, because again, as we saw, you're going to lose a hell of a lot more than 5 seconds. But again, I'm referring to that stream that I did. Ultimately, you're going to have this added onto your race time, which means wherever you finish the race, you're going to want to be 5 seconds further up the road than where you actually want to finish anyway. And my main goal after the disaster of round 1 and 2 here really was just to get a decent position. I mean, at this point, I could probably just take a top 20, but certainly a top 10 is the aim at this stage. I just need to get some championship points on the board. I need to try and get some XP to spend on bike upgrades. This is obviously the entry-level bike, the first one you choose, and it's not particularly good. It lacks in every department, so just trying to build up some points. And also, obviously, I want to be in the best position possible so that if I do get an offer from a better team, that I can take that. So if I'm hovering down the back of the pack, I can't imagine I'm going to get the most lucrative of offers from other teams. But nonetheless, as you can see, the fight back hasn't been going along too badly. I'm still holding down 5th position, struggling on pace a little bit, and honestly, that qualifying lap, I was a little bit surprised to get pole, but I guess that will bring me on very quickly to my next point, and that is that they don't qualify the same pace. By they, I mean the AI. They are a lot slower in qualifying, and it can be to the tune of a second or two faster in race. But anyway, you know, as you can see, I'm in 5th position. It was a really good race. I just charged on, as you'd expect. Nothing more exciting happened whatsoever. Except for that. That did happen. But otherwise from there, you know, it was a really good... Yeah, and that also, unfortunately, that happened too. So anyway, we're now in 21st position with a 5-second penalty over our head. And I can tell you what, at this point, the Fs were not given. And I'm like, I need to charge through this field because this is round 3 and I'm not going well at all. And as you can see, I'm just absolutely carving through the pack. One of the things you have to learn, I think, with all new racing games, and something I'm still trying to get a feel for here, is where the AI make their pace, where they're fast, where they're not fast. You know, different games have their own areas where AI seem to be stronger than others. This particular game, I think that mid-corner pace and corner exit is where I seem to be dominating so far on the Moto 2 bikes. But under brakes, the AI are really, really good. Like, they are braking to a point where I absolutely struggled to match that. But I guess from this point of the race, really all there is to do is try and have a big recovery, as I say, all the way back to 22nd position. I'm now up to 18th. But look, what I actually forgot to mention at the start of the race, and something that I screwed up in the live stream, so if you are quite new to this game as well, or you're picking one up for the first time, a big hint for you, a big tip: they don't change your tyres in between sessions. So I didn't realise this. During the stream, I was actually doing the practice session, then the qualifying, jumping into the race, all on the same set of soft tyres. So it's literally one of those things, if you don't specify to the team that you wish to change tyres, they will not give you new ones for the next session. Now, whether or not that is unique to the pro setting, I don't know. Maybe just because I'm running a pro championship that's doing that. But absolutely worth checking. It made a huge amount of difference. And shout out to whoever it was that commented on that live stream and said, yeah, you actually started that race with like 51% tyre wear or something like that. So that was a bit stupid. I didn't really realise that. And that's one of the problems with trying to learn a game whilst you're streaming it, is when you're actually interacting with the people on the stream, as well as actually just sort of worrying about the pace and momentum of your live stream, you tend to overlook a lot of that stuff. And it's not something I really had to deal with before in MotoGP games. Having said that, I didn't really... Oh, that was a big contact there. I really didn't run tyre wear all that much. I haven't really done a lot of championships, but so far I'm actually really enjoying it. I've already recorded the next race after this one, so that should be up over the next couple of days. Whichever day on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, which are my 3 primary stream days, whichever one of those days I don't stream will be the day I upload the next race from Jerez. Definitely one to keep an eye out for as well. But yeah, this race did actually teach me quite a lot, despite the fact that it was bad. One of the things about not doing it on stream is that you don't have those distractions. And having now changed those tyres, and it's quite cool because you actually get given a certain allocation of tyres, much like in real life. So you're restricted to how many you can use, which means that if you're trying to go out and do the development tasks that the team sets for you, you might choose different tyres to do it on, or you kind of go, well, I might be able to do that on a set of medium tyres, front and rear, because you're not going to use them in the race, or whatever the case may be. The allocation is relatively generous, so if you're like me, just doing free practice number 3 and then qualifying, you do have enough tyres to kind of use the combinations you want anyway. But it's good to sort of change them, and coming into quali, fresh set of those go on. You can actually go in, mid-session, put on another fresh set, so you're getting the best out of it, which is what you're supposed to be doing. Now, in this particular race, if you're interested in what compounds I chose, I put a soft on the front, because the front really wasn't wearing too hard, and I put a hard compound on the rear. So I kind of was always anticipating I'd be a little bit slower at the start of the race and possibly come a little bit better at the end. I don't know what tyres the other AI were on. If it did say, I didn't notice it. But yeah, you can see on the tyre wear there, which is underneath where the speed is, the grey to red sector. The grey is, I think, how much of the tyre you've worn. The red's how much you've got left. So they're both evenly wearing, and that's the soft front and hard rear. So it's not a bad combination for a half race distance, a 50% distance. I think if I was doing a full race distance, I'd probably go a medium on the front and a hard on the rear and just try and make them last. But it's also good to have to try and tyre manage. But here, with the hard compound, I was able to just go for it. And one really good thing that came out of this race, obviously it's not ideal to have happen what you have seen happen, but a really positive thing to come out of it was, because I'm not streaming and I'm not reading chat and I'm not distracted by anything else, I just was able to focus on the bike and figuring out how to ride it, because it's not as simple as your brain sort of might work. I'm not used to racing on a controller. I play a bit of Destiny or Paladins or whatever I'm playing on a controller, but I'm not playing racing games. It's always on a steering wheel because it's with cars. It has been so long, 2016, since I really spent much time on a motorbike game. So, my hands are cramping up and I'm getting weird muscle strains and stuff that I'm not used to dealing with. So that is something you have to do. But, the key thing is really getting the brake pressure and throttle pressure. I have to readjust my brain and go, well, you don't just hold the brake on and then hold the throttle on. It is like a car racing game. When obviously, I don't know why my brain sort of didn't do this initially. I guess because I've been playing, as I say, nothing but Destiny and that. When you go for the L2 and R2 button, you just go 100%. You don't even think about really squeezing it gently and insert Tenacious D song there. You don't have to, focus on how much pressure you're putting on it. And that is something I actually learned in this race. I got quicker and quicker as the race went on. I felt far more comfortable, and I really learnt a lot about the actual way the bike handles, the way to brake by jumping hard on L2 initially, as well as X, which is your rear brake. As you approach the corner, you almost just sort of lightly tap X, which helps pull it in tight. I say literally as I run wide. And then you just gently squeeze on R2, which actually stops all those wheel stands and everything I was having a problem with at the start of the race. So I was actually really happy to get up to where I am. I am currently in 11th position. I was catching that mob before for quite a long time. This is now the final lap. I was catching that mob for quite a long time. Actually pretty happy to get back up here. But the most important thing to come out of this race, and this is why it is a good thing to do a championship, and to jump onto something like the Moto 2s to get used to it. If you're really green to motorbike games, maybe go to Moto 3, and also maybe don't let your stream chat choose a pro championship for you. But that's okay. I'm learning the hard way, and hopefully I do get there. But yeah, I really feel like I learnt a lot from this actual race, and that is reflected in the next race. As I said before, I have already recorded and raced that one, so keep an eye out for that. And on the last corner, I was actually really nervous because I pulled a really healthy gap, I think over 5 seconds to the group of 4 behind me, and then I bin it on the last corner, and I'm like, no, you idiot, you're going to come 15th. But spoiler alert, because the results haven't come up yet, or they're about to. I actually did manage to hold 11th, so pretty happy with that. You can see how quickly I scrolled down to have a look at it. I did actually just manage to hold out 12th, or hold out 11th position. So anyway, that is going to be the end of the stream. I hope you have enjoyed. Hope you join me for next one. If you're new, remember to hit subscribe, leave a like. Can't wait to talk to you all next time, but for now, it's goodbye.